He thought he was alone, until a Navy SEAL team showed up at his door. Fake HOA cops brutally beat a black man, but what they didn't know was that his brothers-in-arms were coming for them. And when they arrived, justice had a whole new meaning. This story is about power, corruption, and brotherhood. It begins with a man named Darius Cole, a 42-year-old veteran who had served his country honorably. After years of deployments, he finally came home to settle down in a quiet neighborhood, one that promised peace and safety. But there was a problem. His HOA. Run by a board of bullies who believed they were untouchable, this HOA thrived on intimidation. And when Darius stood up to them, they decided to teach him a lesson. What they didn't know was that Darius wasn't just any man. He was a former Navy SEAL, and while he had left the battlefield behind, his brothers-in-arms had never left him. Darius had been through more than most could imagine. Combat tours, sleepless nights, memories he didn't talk about, but his home was supposed to be a sanctuary. He kept his lawn trimmed, his bills paid, his life quiet. Still, the HOA seemed determined to break him down. He got letters about improper paint shades, threats over garage clutter, and fines for trivial issues. He ignored most of it, until one evening, when he caught two men in fake police uniforms walking around his property with flashlights. "Excuse me, can I help you?" he called out. The men smirked. Routine inspection. Show us your business, but something in their tone made Darius uneasy. A week later, Darius returned home from running errands. As he stepped out of his truck, the same two men appeared, this time with a third. "Mr. Cole," one said, "we've had complaints." "You're coming with us," Darius frowned. "You're not real cops. Show me your IDs." Instead of answering, one swung a baton. The blow landed across his ribs. Another punch followed, then kicks. The men dragged him into the shadows between houses, beating him until he could barely stand. Through the haze of pain, Darius heard them sneer, "Next time, follow the rules. Or worse will happen." And then they left him broken on his own driveway. Darius struggled inside, every muscle screaming. He knew he needed help, not just from police, but from people who truly understood loyalty. So he made a call. Within hours, his phone buzzed with replies. Old teammates, men who had fought beside him overseas, men who owed him their lives and would never let him down. "Stay put," one message read. "We're coming." 2 nights later, a black SUV rolled quietly into the neighborhood. 4 men stepped out, broad-shouldered, calm, their eyes sharp. They weren't in uniform, but everything about them screamed discipline. They weren't here for war, but they were here for justice. They sat with Darius, listened to his story, studied the bruises. One of them, Ramirez, clenched his fists. "They touched you on your own property? That ends now." The plan was simple. Expose the fake cops and dismantle the HOA's corruption at its core. The next evening, the fake cops returned, thinking they had silenced Darius. But this time, when they tried to corner him, shadows moved from the trees. "Evening, gentlemen," Ramirez said coolly, stepping into the light. Behind him, the others flanked out, surrounding the imposters. The men froze. Their bravado evaporated as they realized they were outmatched. "You like pretending to be cops?" another SEAL asked. "Let's see how you do when real warriors are watching." The fake cops stammered, trying to back away. But within minutes, their weapons were stripped, their IDs exposed as fakes, and their ties to the HOA president revealed. All of it, caught on camera by another SEAL, live-streamed straight to local authorities. Police swarmed the neighborhood shortly after, armed with undeniable evidence. The fake cops were arrested on charges of assault, impersonation, and conspiracy. The HOA president, who had hired them, was exposed for years of corruption, illegal fines, intimidation tactics, and racial targeting. Neighbors who had once stayed silent now stepped forward. Emboldened by Darius's courage and the SEAL's intervention, the board crumbled. The president faced prison. The HOA was dissolved. And Darius? He finally felt safe again. Weeks later, Darius sat on his porch, bruises healed but heart still heavy. His SEAL brothers joined him, laughing softly, sharing old stories. "Didn't think I'd need you guys here of all places," Darius admitted. Ramirez smiled. "Doesn't matter where. Doesn't matter when. You're family. And family doesn't get left behind." Darius looked out at his home, finally peaceful. For the first time in years, He allowed himself to believe that healing was possible, because this wasn't just about fighting back. It was about proving that brotherhood, loyalty, and justice would always rise above corruption and hate. This story isn't just about a corrupt HOA or fake cops. It's about resilience. It's about a man who thought he was alone, until brotherhood proved stronger than fear. Darius Cole's story reminds us, justice may take time, but it always comes. If this story moved you, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes in standing tall against injustice.